नमस्कार, फिर पैसा बोलता है में आपका स्वागत है. वेलकम बैक टू पैसा बोलता है. For the last 2 days, I've been talking about dollar, gold, and then I've been talking about stocks which are earning money in dollars. And I gave Infosys as an example. There are other companies in ITs which you can look at, like as Tech Mahindra and HCL. But my advice to novice investors is to always stick to large cap companies and not look at small cap companies. Wipro is the least favorite of all investors and therefore is available very cheap. Apart from Wipro, you can look at HCL, Tech Mahindra, TCS, and then of course Infosys. Of course, I discussed Infosys in great detail because Infosys was near the 52-week low and definitely is going to rebound. But this is as far as the tech sector is concerned. It is better for a novice investor at all costs avoid mid cap and small cap IT stocks. If you do not want to buy Infosys or a large cap IT stock, it is better to buy ITBs. You should wait for some time for this play to play out. You cannot expect to invest today and the results will play out tomorrow. Because right now IT stocks are being battered because of the simple reason that everybody is expecting a deep recession in the United States. In fact, this is a great buying opportunity over next 9 months as recession fears play out and actual recession takes place. But today I want to talk about another sector which predominantly deals with foreign exchange, which brings in lot of foreign exchange into India. This is the pharma sector. India is the factory for generics across the world. Top Indian pharma companies are basically making generics cheap in India and supplying it to the rest of the world. In terms of volume, India is the third largest producers, but in terms of real value, we are only 15 or 16 in the pecking order. This was told by Satish Reddy, who is the chairman of Dr. Reddy Laboratories. It needs that over a period of time, India has to invest in research and development and move up the value chain. There is lot of space. So when you are buying pharma companies, you want to make the big dollar bet. You want companies which export more than 50% of their earnings from abroad. There are several large cap companies which are basically Dr. Reddy's, Divi's Lab, Cipla, Sun Pharma, etc. At this point of time, Sun Pharma is very expensive and is completely out of the reach of your pocket. Cipla had some problems with the US FDA, therefore it was trading near its 52-week low. You can look at acquiring Cipla. You can also acquire Dr. Reddy, which has really not taken off and has been trading in a tight range for a long period of time. Divi's Lab has also corrected deeply. The reason for Divi's Lab to correct deeply is simply because the stock ran up very fast because of big FII interest and foreigners buying into that stock. Foreigners have been selling stocks across the world and FIAs also have lightened their position in the Indian market. And therefore, they sold Divi's Lab and Divi's has now become slightly cheaper. But a stock which I have been tracking for a long time, for many years, waiting for a chance to buy, was Natco Pharma. Why did I choose to buy Natco Pharma? And why now? Natco Pharma was extremely costly and I was watching it for a long time because Natco Pharma does not make normal cough syrup drugs. Natco Pharma makes niche products which it primarily concentrates on the export market. It waits for drugs which just go out of patent. They are ready with their product, at times ready with the API, and therefore are able to make a killing in the first 180 days. Normally, Natco Pharma concentrates on cancer drugs. Natco Pharma's case with Bayer and Novartis is matter of legend, where the Supreme Court ruled in Natco Pharma's favor. Natco Pharma does not fear going and fighting the matter in court. It challenges patents of MNCs and produces generics to be sold in India and abroad, and that is why it has been doing very well. Natco Pharma fell off for two reasons. One, the FIAs kept selling Natco Pharma, and two, because they invested a lot of money, nearly 2000 crores, in making a new product division, agrochemicals, a product molecule called CTPR, which you can look for the expansion anywhere. They had the plant ready, they had the raw materials ready before they had got an order in their favor to sell this. Bayer had the original patent and Bayer was challenging this. Only recently, Natco Pharma get an approval to sell this product. And this was discussed in great detail in my Tamil channel. And the promoter director of Natco Pharma also discussed this in a call. Also, Natco Pharma in recent times is going to have two blockbuster drugs. There is a cancer drug called Orpalab, which is now made by AstraZeneca, which is going to be made by Natco Pharma and sold in the US markets. There is another drug called bendacolin, which is a drug used for anti-TB treatment. This is completely different from normal TB drugs used to treat people in third world countries, including India. This has less side effects and is considered more effective. But for nearly last 40 years, Johnson and Johnson has had the patent. This patent is going to expire in July of this year. And Natco Pharma, along with another Indian company called Mecloid, has the end product ready for a launch. But it is not the end product alone that Natco Pharma has. Natco Pharma has re-engineered the salt, which is basically the active pharma ingredient. So will not only sell this product, but also will sell the salt to other companies which want to make the product. Johnson and Johnson tried to get a new patent for the salt, which is the active pharma ingredient. It could not sustain in court. It failed. So come July, Natco Pharma and McLeod will launch this product and will have an exclusive window for some time. And Natco's price will be more competitive. All these advantages will take a longer time to play around with. And there is very little debt on the balance sheet of Natco Pharma, and this company is cash rich. So when the price fell, we started to acquire at around about 650, very small quantities, like one would buy tea or coffee. We increased it to a breakfast spending by the time it dropped and started to increase it as it fell below 550. The stock went as low as 500 before bouncing back to 570. The bounce back to 570 basically took place because a certain number of shares was to be bought back by the company and the shares extinguished by the company. The promoter said they would not participate in this open issue. So those who wanted to sell the shares could tender their shares in the open offer through the exchange. And there was 210 crores fixed for this. So 210 crores, the company would buy back shares and extinguish it in the open market with the promoters not participate. What this would do is shrink the amount of shares available, and even if the profits remain same, the EPS would go up. I expect within a year or two EPS to reach 35. If EPS is 35 in a buoyant market, the market gives you a valuation of 30, you are going to go to 1000 rupees. This is in a very short term, in a year or two, or at most three. But for somebody who is acquired at 500 rupees or an average price of 550, which you could have, exiting at 1000 rupees over 3 years is a great return, especially if you are doubling your money in 3 years. In these 3 years, definitely you will acquire at least 3 or 4 dividends because the company is in a habit of giving interim dividends. This is the reason why we said Natco Pharma is a great buy. I suggest before buying this, you talk to a SEBI registered investment advisor, which I am not, and this is only for educational purpose. You take a look at it and look at buying small quantities, 5 or 10 in number, and build up a portfolio over a period of time. Thank you for watching Paisa Bolta Hai. Let money talk. If you like this content, hit the like button for this video, subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell notification. If you do not turn on the bell notification, you will miss out on a video which we may put out every day. I urge you to share this video with your friends and relatives and ask them to take a look. Once again, I thank you for your support for Paisa Bolta Hai.